Congressman, you've been looking to take the lead in the House, push back against momentum everyone has towards impeachment. With the second whistleblower coming forward, does that change your stance that the president's being ramrodded on this?
Not at all, because all of the world knows more about this phone call than the second or the first whistleblower. Remember, the first whistleblower, it was hearsay. He wasn't even on the call. Yeah, secondhand knowledge. We now have the transcript. Had the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, just waited 48 hours, we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be tearing this country apart. They wouldn't be trying to remove this president. If she followed her own directions like we've done in every Congress before, if she really thinks you should have an impeachment inquiry, have a vote. Because you know what happens then? You have fairness. The same way Bill Clinton was treated, the same way the judges, the same way Nixon was going to be treated, the minority should have a subpoena power. The president's counsel should be able to be in the room, should be able to cross-examine. We should be able to offer some witnesses. Today, what's happening, she's taken it out of judiciary. She put him with Adam Schiff, who is a whole series among himself. Adam Schiff is a fact witness because he met with the whistleblower. When the whistleblower went to the IG
directly, a staff member met with the whistleblower?
Yes, but it's part of his staff. We don't know how many times he met. We don't know if he met with Schiff or not. We don't know what they talked about. That is a fact witness. Nowhere in American's judiciary does it ever allow a fact witness to be the prosecutor or the person in charge.
At these depositions, there were one or two last week. There's going to be one or two again this week. I've heard reporting that apparently the Republicans can be in the room, but they can't really ask any questions.
They can't.
No, but you know who can be in the room? The Democrats control how many Republicans can go in the room, how many staffs. And then what else they control is what America gets to hear about it. If you read the entire transcript of the hearings last week, again, we would end this nightmare one more time. But no, they want to do a selective text, but not let everything else out. This is the problem and why she put it into intel. It goes back to what Schiff has said every time before he has lied. He's the common denominator of all these failures and all these lies. Remember? He lied about knowing more than circumstantial evidence. He lied when he met with Glenn Simpson. His staff went up and met with Cohn, how many hours? And now, if you watch the tweets and what he did, he lied to the American public, even on MSNBC, about even meeting
Will there be a vote? The president is saying he's sending that letter to Nancy Pelosi. Have a vote.
I sent a letter last week with 10 points that it's about fairness. Clinton was treated that way. Every time we've gone this way, she's denied it. And the reason she's denying it, it'll be an unfair process. It's pure political. They have no facts, and they just want to impeach this president.
Congressman, yesterday Jim Jordan was asked about the president saying, I want China to investigate Biden. And he said he was just, like Marco Rubio, he was just trolling China. He was just having fun. Do you believe the president was kind of just having fun when he said, like Jim Jordan said, that, hey, China, I want you to investigate Biden's investment?
When you look at you watch what the president said. He's not saying China to investigate, but let's get to the clear point. If I'm a member of Congress and I break the law and there should be investigation and I run for another office, you still investigate me. More people in America want to investigate what Biden has done and his son than want to impeach this president. But somehow the Democrats want to deny that?
When you watch the Sunday shows and you see some of these Republican politicians going on shows and you know the anchor doesn't agree with them and they interrupt them, cut them off, and they ask them, you know, questions that seem like they're leading questions. Do you go on these shows? Do you say no to these shows now? Because
no, you have to go on them, but you have to understand. It almost feels like many of these individuals are so biased in the basis of where they're going to go, where they won't even listen to your answers. They just want to go back and they have it all written out. The difficult part is I've gone on a few, and if you go on a taped one, they'll only cut where they want to cut. That's the difficulty.
Will you explain for the people watching the politics involved? All right, the way it looks right now is it looks like there's going to be an impeachment vote in the House, and then the Senate ultimately will save the president and won't convict him. So what happens in the next year for those Democrats who vote for impeachment?
Well, you have 31 Democrats who sit in seat that President Trump carried. It only takes 19 for the Republicans to win the majority. Of those 31, 13 of those are what I called ruby red, that the president carried by more than 6. Then there's 18 in there that he carried itself. But there's also a number of seats that we have had won before. We have fewer seats to win than the Democrats had 2 years ago. They now have a record which Nancy Pelosi is no longer the extreme left. She is now a moderate. You have these 4 new Democrat women who've redefined this party to be socialist Democrats. We just had a special election in North Carolina where we didn't win by 900 votes like we did in 2018.
So you're
we
saying,
won by 4,000.
You're saying you're going to win the House back?
Yes, we're going to win the House back. But what's wrong here is it's going to destroy this country. It's going to break the fabric of who we are. They are discrediting democracy. Remember what we're talking about. They're not impeaching the president. They want to remove somebody from office who was duly elected because they disagree with it. There's going to be a new poll that comes out that those who currently agree that want the president impeached, 73% of them already wanted him to impeach before anything they saw. The majority of Americans, 63%, believe he shouldn't be impeached for anything on that phone call. So why move forward?
Were you briefed on the president withdrawing from northern Syria?
I have not yet. I'm going to talk to him today about
Disappointed?
that. I want to know the facts of why it is. I know the president wants to remove people from the Middle East. I want to make sure we keep our word for those who fight with us and help us. I mean, long term, that is the best position to be in.
Well, I know you disagree with that. There's so many moms and dads that want their kids home.
No,
and I know that's not a reason to leave.
The Kurds that are fighting, we can't let them get grinded up by the Turks.
The thing I believe, if you make a commitment and somebody is fighting with you, America should keep their word as long as because you want other people with you. It's just a bond of trust.
Call the president before it's too late.
All right. Kevin McCarthy, California. Sir, thank you.
Thank you.